Making sales social means to me selling out of love and not out of fear. I used to hate sales with a passion. I'm a recovering introvert. I used to be very, very introverted, which was holding me back in life and in business. And then I had a friend who was crushing it with networking and selling and public speaking. I thought I want this, but how do I get this being super introverted?
Welcome to the Making Sales Social podcast, featuring the top voices in sales, marketing, and business. Join Bryn Tillman and me, Bob Woods, as we each bring you the best tips and strategies our guests are teaching their clients, so you can leverage them for your own virtual and social selling. Enjoy the show.
Welcome back to Making Sales Social. I am here with David Henzel, who is a serial entrepreneur and business coach with a passion for helping startups grow and succeed. With over 20 years of experience in the SaaS and e-commerce industry, David has co-founded, managed, and scaled multiple successful companies. David is on a mission to become a change agent dedicated to helping individuals and organizations achieve their full potential and create positive change in the world. He always puts people first and aims to improve the lives of everyone he encounters. With his vast experience and expertise in entrepreneurship and business coaching, he is committed to helping people reach their full potential by implementing business practices in their personal life. Welcome to the show, David.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thrilled to have you here today. So the first question we ask all our guests is, what does making sales social mean to you?
Making sales social means to me selling out of love and not out of fear. And for those of you, if somebody sees this, the video version of it, I have like a Love Not Fear t-shirt on. It's my passion project. I used to hate sales with a passion. I'm a recovering introvert. I used to be very, very introverted, which was holding me back in life and in business. And then I had a friend who was crushing it with networking and selling and public speaking. I thought I want this, but how do I get this being super introverted? So I did Toastmasters twice a week, which is public speaking classes. Very effective, but was very painful to do this as an introvert. And then I did 2 networking events per week and I talked to everybody and their mother, even though it was so uncomfortable. And this helped with my shyness. But then my yoga teacher said, every decision in life, you either make out of love or out of fear. These are 2 basic emotions why you do everything that you do in life. And I was it's made so much sense. And I always knew this deep down inside. But now that you gave me this framework, I've been applying this to every decision I'm making. For example, selling. Before I felt like a used car salesman shoving something down somebody else's throat. And I sold out of fear because we're a startup, we have to sell or we die, I have to pay my mortgage, etc. But it never felt good. And I think the person on the other side could also feel that. But now that I'm selling out of love, if I know that, hey, what I have here can be good for you in your life or in your business, I can even be pushy, say hey, buy this, it's gonna be awesome. And this made it very easy for me to sell. And I could go and give you 10 other examples on how acting out of love versus fear helps me in business and life. But to answer your question,
selling out of love,
selling out of love is the thing. Always playing the long game. I was seeing how can I provide value to this other individual that I'm meeting. Before, when I met somebody at a networking event or somebody next to me in the plane, I never dared to talk to them because I thought they probably don't want to talk to me, or if it's an attractive woman, she probably thinks I'm hitting on her, even though it's not the case. And now I'm thinking hey, there's another person. Let's see how can I provide value to this person. And then it becomes very easy because it's not about me, it's about the other person.
I love that. One of the phrases we use all the time is detach from what the prospect is worth to you and attach to what you are worth to the prospect. That's exactly what you're talking about. It's not about you making your mortgage. It's about you providing value, which consequently pays your mortgage.
Yes, so money is a side effect of providing value. Figure out how you can provide as much value as possible to as many people as possible, and you'd be the richest person around.
I love that. So talk to me about the mindset shift from selling out of fear to selling out of love. How, when our whole lives as salespeople, we've been taught to work to KPIs. How many calls have you made? How many this have you done? And so you're constantly working out of fear because you have to meet all these KPIs. You have to meet all these goals. where you're not, the soft skills are not part of fear. The soft skills, right, are part of love, but we are working to these KPIs. How do you make that shift both personally and among your team?
I think you need to have KPIs, otherwise it doesn't really work. What you measure will improve. Business 101. It's just what it is, right? But then like how do you approach it? Like when you're like, oh, I have to like call 10 more people. Like, no, it's like I'm excited to call 10 more people to see if I can provide value to these people. It's just like this subtle shift. And to me, I always listen to my emotions. If something feels good, what I'm doing right now, I lean in. If it doesn't feel good, I take a step back and think like, why does this not feel good? Is this something I do not want to do? Is this something that's wrong? Is it against my values? Or is it, or can I change my mindset to like, hey, no, actually we have a really good product here. I'll hit these people up to see, I can help those people. In one of my portfolio companies, it's a very technical product, and the founder is a brilliant technical founder, and he always struggled with selling. And I told him like to see himself like he's a doctor. He has the pill to ease somebody's pain, right? Like, and since he had this visual in his head, like it became very easy for him to sell. He's really crushing it now, and he wants bigger and bigger deals because he now sees himself as somebody who's not like pushing something on somebody, but like, no, hey, I'm here to help. I'm here to serve. He's doing this out of love and not out of fear anymore.
So help us open up that question then, right? Or that the first interaction, because I mean, we don't cold call. Everything we do is through engagement and referrals, and so that by the time we get on a call, they already know who we are. But how do you create that resource-driven relationship quickly, where they don't immediately feel like you're spamming or you're cold calling? In some cases you are, but that the purpose, so that they know immediately that you're here to provide value, not just to sell.
I have one company that does cold outreach and deep research, but I have to admit I've never done a cold call in my life. Well,
and that's good. I think that's
when
good.
I meet another person, I always like anybody I meet, like on a flight, random, socially, I always ask a few questions to see how I can provide value to this person.
Okay,
like
so how do you open that up? So we're sitting together next to, we're sitting in business class. We're all stretched out. We've got our drink. What do you do?
So I ask you about your business, kind of, inquiring like, what's currently a pain point that you have in your business, or personally, just like kind of digging into.
And you would ask that as a first opening question?
When we just meet?
We just sat down. We're meeting for the first time. You're like, "Hi, I'm David," and I say, "Hi, I'm Bryn." Now what?
Yeah, it's like So if we had in a business context, I'd probably ask like, "Hey, what's your business? What do you do?"
Okay,
right?
So do that right off. That's so American, and I thought with a little bit of accent, you wouldn't go right into that. So
I lived in LA for 8 years, so I adapted.
Okay. Yeah. So I personally don't like when someone immediately says, unless you're in a networking place where you're there, business card exchange or trade show or conference, that's different. But when I'm out in the world and someone starts with, "So tell me what you do," I tend to back off of that because I feel like they're going to sell me.
Sell me. Yeah. But I guess it's always contextual. I don't have like a standard pickup line, It's not like of something like, so it's like always contextual, like kind of what we're doing, like, hey, what do you think about the speaker? Or, so it's like, it's kind of hard off the bat, but it's usually a little smoother. And when I talk to somebody and not in a business context, I also ask them like, how do you spend your day? So what are you passionate about? What's, to kind of like drill
into. That's amazing that you jump in. I'll tell you a little bit of what I do and then you critique me.
Sure.
So David, nice to meet you. Are you flying home?
Looking to up your LinkedIn game? The Social Sales Link team has you covered with our LinkedIn Sales Accelerator, a guided social selling program that includes training, coaching, and so much more. Visit socialsaleslink.com/in for more details. Again, that's socialsaleslink.com/in.
Or flying out?
Yes, I asked this like, are you coming or are you going when I'm sitting
Right.
on
That's
in
the
the airplane? Yes. Oh,
right. That's the
yes.
first thing. Oh, I'm flying home. Oh, excellent. Were you here visiting family or was this for business? Right. And that's how I sort of start that conversation. And if you answer or whatever, 2 or 3 questions without asking back, I stop. And the
Makes sense.
reason, and the reason is if he has zero interest in asking me anything, he's going to have even less interest asking me about my business or my company. Now, if you turn it over and say, oh, what about you? Right. Oh, yeah, I was here for a keynote. I was talking about LinkedIn for social selling. It was really a lot of fun. I love this city. Right. And so, but I don't say anything about me until they ask. That's just sort of my philosophy.
Yeah, same. Also, I never push my business card on somebody like, hey, I do this. Like, no. It's always like people remember you way better if they talk most of the time and you just like ask. I think selling is asking really good questions, kind of like figuring out like to get to the pain point of somebody. And I always play the long game. I never push my business on somebody. Like I even prefer it more if it can be something. I'm a personal development geek. I'm a habits geek. I have these different tools in my tool belt that I can bring out. I have this portfolio of companies. So if somebody has like, depending on what it is, what they do, I can often offer them some solutions that I have in my tool belt. So
yes. So most people have one, you have many. So, which is great. You could, solve lots of problems. As a coach, right? Your Up Coach is your business, right?
Up Coach is one of our business. It's a software for coaches, and then under managinghappiness.com, this is my coaching business, where I do cohort-based coaching, helping people to figure out what they really want out of life and how to get it.
That's awesome. So let's talk about that for a moment. And I think if I read correctly, you work with startups all the way through, like at any point in their scaling that business, right?
I work with people in leadership positions mainly, or entrepreneurs. There's like the main target audience that I'm working with.
Okay, so now you have a new client. They're an entrepreneur. They're billing $700,000-$800,000 a year. They have 3 employees and they're stuck. I would say this is an enormous amount of the people that are listening today. Right? And they're stuck. What is the first thing that you would pull out of them? Like, how do you identify when you're, say they hire you, this is our first coaching session. What would you say to them to start to identify why they're stuck?
I think figuring out like where they're stuck. We have like something called the wheel of life, where people can like rate their life in the different areas of like how they're doing financially, family, friends, romance, kind of like all these different things, and you rate them from 0 to 10, and then this gives you clear insights, this reflection on like where people are stuck, and then
you take that stuck, and how do you help them get unstuck?
So I'm not a traditional coach in this manner. I do not work with people on one-on-one. It's always a cohort-based approach where people come in. We build like something like an EO forum where like 8 entrepreneurs or leaders come together, and they go through the course in 8 weeks, and they do like certain exercises to. It's a mix of some videos and some homework that they do, and then we meet once a week to share our results with each other. So it's not traditional coaching. I'm not a traditional coach.
I love the peer coaching too, to be able to have, that it's more than one perspective on a challenge or something like that. So,
yeah, and I love peer learning because like somebody has an issue and somebody else in the cohort has experienced something similar, and then like share. It's way better to hear this from a peer versus like, oh, you have this, that. It's like,
I love
especially
that
for entrepreneurs.
So what advice would you give an entrepreneur who's looking to move from a lifestyle business to like, a real company?
To scale it.
Yeah.
Yep. So a book that really opened my eyes, it's called Traction by Gino Wickman. It teaches you the EOS, the Entrepreneurial Operating System. And I'm clean shaved right now, so you don't see my gray hair and my beard. But if I would have read this book 15 years earlier, I would have like the business would have been like 5x the size, and I would be way less stressed, because all these things they describe in there, I learned with a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. So organization development, if you want to take your business to the next level, like figure out the basics that are described in this book. I think this is like something that I would do. And then another thing I do myself often is I track every day, what do I spend my time on? And then I rate it, like, is this like a $10 an hour task, a $100 an hour task, $1,000 an hour task? And I make sure I do not do tasks that I could like outsource to somebody else, and then I hire somebody for that. And also in terms of hiring, when I start a new business, I like to start new businesses. I like to scratch my own itch. If I have, for example, UpCoach was also born that way. And in the beginning, I'm in, and then I think a good manager manages himself out of the business. So basically, kind of like, finding good people that can own certain areas in the business. So it's not all on your shoulders.
That's awesome. So I'm a huge EOS fan. I have two folks that I recommend all the time for EOS implementation, Ed Callahan and Michael Tilden. So if they're people that I would recommend that you connect with as well, because their customers could need you. So they're probably really good folks to connect with. But
good folks to know.
When I read Traction, or I audio read it,
Same.
And there were things I kept looking at, and one of the things that it brought out for me was the right people on the right bus, in the right seat. Right.
Yep.
And that was a big aha moment for me. Because I had a lot of the right people, but not all in the right seat. And I had a couple of not right people at all on the bus that I liked, but I was able to make kind of that shift in the business. So I agree that that's an amazing way to go. Any last tips that you have before we kind of wrap this up?
Going back to the initial thing that I said, like love, not fear, play the long game, see how you can provide value to people, and everything becomes way easier to everybody that you come in touch with. I read this book called Conscious Capitalism by John Mackey, the founder of Whole Foods. The original concept of a business is you have to increase shareholders' value, basically make the owner of the business rich. And the conscious approach is you do good by all stakeholders, not just by the shareholders. So suppliers, customers, employees, environment, whatever, everything the business touches gets value from it. And by doing this, it becomes much more fun, much easier, in my opinion, to scale a business, because everybody believes in it. You create a great culture inside of your business.
And you're showing up authentically.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's really
I love that. Well, David, this is a lot of fun. I thank you so much for your time. You have a little offer for our listeners to get 1 month free coupon for that upcoach.com online platform, where they can use it for client onboarding and team management, right? And that's, if you go to upcoach.com, then what do they do?
Well, easiest is if they just send me an email to david@upcoach.com, and then I'll hook them up with this account. UpCoach is originally built for coaches to run their coaching business better, but we also run all of our businesses inside of UpCoach, like level 10 meetings and kind of all that stuff you have in there. And you can also use it in my service businesses. For example, Shortlist.io is a backlink building service. It's like a marketing agency type thing. And we use it for all the client communication and the onboarding. And so it's a very multifaceted tool. So check it out. I think you'll like it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time and for your insights. I am sure you will get lots of people reaching out to you to learn a little bit more. And to our listeners, thanks so much for that you keep coming back. If this is your first time listening, make sure you subscribe. And when you are out and about, don't forget to make your sales social.
Thanks for listening, and join us again for more special guest instructors bringing you marketing, sales training, and social selling strategies that will set you apart. Don't forget to subscribe to get the latest episodes from the Making Sales Social podcast. Leave a review down below. Tell us what you think, what you learned, and what you want to hear from us next. You can also listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and Google Play. Visit our website, socialsaleslink.com, for more information.